Hey, everyone. Get ready for an awesome story that's going to grab you right from the start. Picture this, it's a bright, sunny day at Lincoln Middle School. Kids are running around, laughing, and playing. The bell rings, and the hallways fill up with students hurrying to class. And there, walking all by himself, is Timmy Parker. He's not like the other kids, not loud or super popular. Nope, Timmy's the quiet one. He shuffles down the hall, his big backpack bouncing on his shoulders. It's so stuffed with books it looks like it might rip open any second. His glasses keep sliding down his nose, and he's always pushing them back up with one finger. His hair? Oh, it's a mess, sticking out all over the place like he just rolled out of bed. And his shirts? Way too big, hanging off him like they belong to someone else. To everyone at school, Timmy's just the nerdy kid, the one who's clumsy, trips over his own feet, and never talks much. Easy to pick on, right? That's what the other boys think. They laugh at him all the time, pointing at his goofy hair and baggy clothes. Look at Timmy, they shout. What a weirdo. But here's the thing, and you've got to listen close because this is where it gets exciting. Nobody knows the real Timmy. Not the teachers, not the kids, not even the principal. Behind those shy, quiet eyes of his, there's a secret. A huge, amazing secret. It's so big it could turn everything at Lincoln Middle School upside down, like flipping a table in the cafeteria and watching all the trays crash to the floor. What could it be? I bet you're curious now, huh? Well, don't go anywhere, because this story is about to get super good. Before we dive in deeper, let me ask you something. Have you ever known someone who seemed boring or weak, but then bam, they surprised you with something cool? Tell me in the comments. Oh, and if you like stories that keep you guessing, make sure to hit that subscribe button and let me know where you're watching from today. So, let's get back to Timmy. It's just a normal day for him, or at least, that's what everyone thinks. He's walking to math class, his sneakers squeaking on the shiny floor. Kids zoom past him, chatting and joking, but Timmy keeps his head down. He's used to being alone. The other boys, especially the tough ones, love to tease him. They see his heavy backpack and think, oh, he's just a book nerd. They see his glasses and laugh, 4 eyes can't even see straight. They see his big shirts and messy hair and figure he's an easy target. And you know what? They're not totally wrong, at least, not yet. Timmy does trip sometimes. He does drop his pencil case in the hall and watch all his stuff scatter. But that's only part of who he is. There's more to Timmy Parker than anyone guesses. Way more. Imagine you're in that hallway with him right now. You see him push his glasses up again, his skinny arms barely holding that giant backpack. You hear the giggles from a group of boys nearby. One of them, let's call him Jake, because he's the leader, yells, "Hey, Timmy. Did your mom dress you in your dad's old clothes?" The others crack up, slapping each other on the back. Timmy doesn't say anything. He just keeps walking, his face turning a little red. Most kids would yell back or run away, but not Timmy. He stays calm. Too calm, maybe. If you looked really close, you might notice something strange, like the way his eyes flicker for just a second. It's fast, so fast you might miss it. But it's there. A tiny spark. A hint that something's different about him. What's he hiding? Oh, you're going to love finding out. See, Timmy's not the kind of kid who brags or shows off. He doesn't need to. While everyone else is busy laughing at him, he's keeping his secret tucked away, safe and sound. It's like he's carrying a treasure chest in his pocket, and nobody even knows it's there. The other kids think they've got him all figured out, nerdy, weak, boring. But they're so wrong. They don't know what's coming. They don't know that Timmy's life isn't as simple as it looks. His secret? It's not just some little thing, like he's good at video games or can draw cool pictures. No, it's bigger. Much bigger. It's the kind of secret that could make jaws drop and eyes pop out like in a cartoon when someone's so shocked they can't even talk. Let's paint the picture a little more. Lincoln Middle School is a busy place. The halls are loud with kids shouting and lockers slamming. The cafeteria smells like pizza and old milk. The playground's full of basketball games and girls jumping rope. And Timmy? He's just trying to get through it all without too much trouble. But trouble finds him anyway. Those boys, Jake and his friends, won't leave him alone. They think it's funny to push him around, to make him feel small. And Timmy lets them. For now. He picks up his books when they knock them down. He fixes his glasses when they call him names. He doesn't cry or fight back. Why not? That's the question buzzing in your head, right? Why doesn't Timmy do something? Is he scared? Is he weak? Or, is there something else going on? Something they'll all wish they'd seen sooner? Here's a little hint, and don't blink, because this is important. Timmy's not as alone as he seems. Sure, he walks by himself. Sure, he sits at the edge of the lunch table, munching his sandwich while everyone else ignores him. But there's someone or something watching out for him. Someone powerful. Someone nobody at Lincoln Middle School would ever expect. Can you guess who? No. That's okay, I'm not telling yet. You've got to stick with me to find out. This story's just getting started, and trust me, it's going to be a wild ride. Timmy Parker might look like the nerdy kid today, but by the end of this, you'll see him in a whole new way. Ready for more? Let's keep going. Okay, let's dive into the next part of Timmy's story. Things are about to heat up at Lincoln Middle School. You've met Timmy, the quiet, nerdy kid with the messy hair and big backpack. Now, it's time to meet the troublemakers, Jake and his crew. These guys. They're the toughest bullies in school. Everyone knows them, and most kids try to stay out of their way. Jake's the leader. He's tall, like, way taller than Timmy, with a loud voice that echoes down the halls. He loves being in charge, and he really loves picking on kids who seem weak or different. Kids like Timmy. It's a regular day in the hallway. Timmy's just trying to get to class, his sneakers squeaking on the floor. His glasses slip down his nose again, and he pushes them up with one hand. That's when Jake spots him. Hey, Four Eyes. Jake yells, his voice booming. He storms over, his buddies right behind him, grinning like they're about to have some fun. Jake's got this mean look in his eyes. He shoves Timmy hard, bam, right into the lockers. The metal clangs loud, and a few kids nearby turn to watch. What's your deal, huh? Jake says, leaning in close. Too scared to fight back. His crew laughs, snickering like it's the funniest thing ever. One of them grabs Timmy's backpack, yanks it off his shoulder, and tosses his books across the hall. Pages flap, pencils roll, and Timmy's stuff scatters everywhere. Now, if that happened to you, what would you do? Yell. Run. Cry. Most kids would do something. But Timmy? He doesn't. He just stands there for a second, looking at the mess. Then he bends down, real quiet, and starts picking up his books. One by one. He doesn't say a word. Jake laughs even louder. Look at him. What a loser, he shouts, slapping his buddy on the back. The other boys join in, pointing and giggling. Nerd, one calls. Baby, says another. They think they've won. They think Timmy's too weak to do anything. But here's the thing, and you've got to pay attention because this is important. If you looked really close, you'd see something. Timmy's hands? They clench just a little. Not a lot, just a tiny bit, like he's squeezing something tight inside. His face stays calm, but those hands. They tell a different story. Something's brewing inside him. Something big. Ever wonder what happens when someone pushes the wrong kid too far? Oh, we're going to find out. Let's picture it. The hallway's busy, kids rushing to class, lockers slamming, voices bouncing off the walls. Jake and his crew are like kings here. They walk around like they own the place, and most people let them. Jake's got spiky hair and a jacket that's too big, but he thinks it makes him look cool. His buddies follow him everywhere, copying everything he does. There's Mike, who's skinny but loud, and Bobby, who's short but tough. Together, they're a pack, always looking for someone to mess with. And Timmy? He's their favorite target. Why? Because he's quiet. Because he's small. Because he doesn't fight back. At least, not yet. This isn't the first time they've picked on him. Oh no. It happens all the time. Yesterday, they tripped him in the cafeteria, and his tray of spaghetti went splat on the floor. Everyone laughed, well, everyone except Timmy. He just got up, grabbed some napkins, and cleaned it up. The day before that, they hid his gym shoes, so he had to sit out of PE in his socks. Jake thought that was hilarious. "What's wrong, Four Eyes? Can't keep up?" he teased. Timmy didn't answer. He never does. He just takes it, day after day. But every time, that little spark in him grows. It's like a fire starting small at first, but ready to get big. Can you feel it? Something's coming. Let's zoom in on this moment. Timmy's on his knees now, picking up his books. Jake's standing over him, arms crossed, smirking. "You're so lame," Jake says. "Why don't you just stay home? Nobody wants you here." Mike chimes in, "Yeah, go cry to your mommy." Bobby kicks one of Timmy's pencils farther down the hall, just for fun. The other kids in the hallway? Some laugh, some look away, but nobody helps. Timmy's alone, or so it seems. He stacks his books in his arms, stands up slow, and brushes off his pants. His glasses are crooked, but he fixes them. Jake steps closer. "What? You got something to say, nerd?" Timmy looks at him right in the eyes for just a second. And there it is again, that tiny clench in his hands. Jake doesn't notice. He's too busy laughing. But you see it, don't you? You know something's up. Here's where it gets juicy. Jake and his crew think they're so smart. They think they can do whatever they want, and nobody will stop them. They've been pushing Timmy around for weeks, months, even. They don't care that he's quiet or that he doesn't bother anyone. To them, he's just a game. A toy to mess with. But what they don't know, what they can't even imagine, is that Timmy's not as helpless as he looks. That secret he's hiding? It's like a bomb waiting to go off. Tick, tick, tick. Every shove, every name, every laugh, it's winding that bomb tighter. And Jake? He's about to light the fuse. Think about it. Have you ever seen someone get pushed too far? Maybe a kid at your school, or even you. It's like when you shake a soda can over and over, eventually, it's going to explode. That's Timmy right now. He's the soda can, and Jake's the one shaking it. But Jake's not smart enough to see what's coming. He thinks Timmy's weak because he doesn't yell or hit back. He thinks quiet means scared. He's wrong. So wrong. Timmy's not scared, he's waiting. Waiting for the right moment. And when that moment comes, oh boy, it's going to be wild. So here we are. Timmy walks away, his books hugged tight to his chest. Jake and his crew high-five, thinking they're the coolest kids around. The bell rings, and the hallway starts to empty out. But the air feels heavy, like something's about to happen. You can almost hear it, a tiny hum, a little buzz. Trouble's brewing. Timmy's secret is still safe, locked up inside him. But it won't stay that way forever. Jake's going to keep pushing, and Timmy's going to keep waiting. What happens next? Stick around, because this story's just getting started. Let's find out together what happens when someone messes with the wrong kid. Alright, let's keep this story rolling. Things are getting more exciting at Lincoln Middle School. Weeks go by, days and days of the same old stuff. Jake and his crew? They don't stop. They keep picking on Timmy every chance they get. It's like a game to them, and they're not tired of playing. Timmy's still the quiet kid with the messy hair and big glasses, shuffling through the halls with his heavy backpack. But something's changing. Something's building up. You're going to see it soon, and it's going to be so cool. One day, it gets worse. Way worse. It's lunchtime, and the cafeteria is loud, kids talking, trays clattering, the smell of pizza and fries in the air. Timmy's sitting by himself at the end of a table, eating his sandwich. He's got a little brown bag lunch, nothing fancy, just some bread and peanut butter. Jake spots him from across the room. "Oh, look, it's the nerd," he yells, walking over with his buddies. They're grinning like they're up to no good. Before Timmy can do anything, Jake grabs his lunch bag right off the table. "What's this?" "Baby food," he says, laughing loud. Then whoosh, he dumps it all in the trash can. The sandwich falls in, the apple rolls out, and the bag gets all crumpled. "Go cry to your mommy, nerd," Jake shouts, throwing his head back and laughing like it's the funniest thing he's ever done. His crew cracks up too, pointing at Timmy and making faces. What would you do if someone trashed your lunch? Yell. Push them. Run to the teacher? Most kids would do something. But Timmy? He doesn't. He just sits there, looking at the trash can. His face doesn't change, no tears, no frown, nothing. He's quiet. Too quiet. Jake thinks he's won again. See? Told you he's a loser, he says, high-fiving Mike and Bobby. They walk off, still giggling, leaving Timmy alone at the table. But here's the thing, and don't miss this, because it's a big clue, Timmy's not just sitting there doing nothing. He's watching. Really watching. His eyes follow Jake across the cafeteria, sharp and careful, like a cat watching a mouse. He's not mad, at least, not on the outside. He's thinking. What's he thinking about? Oh, you'll see. Days keep passing, and Timmy starts noticing stuff about Jake. He's not just taking the bullying anymore, he's studying it. He sees how Jake brags all the time. Like, every day, Jake talks about his fancy bike. It's the best one in town, he says, showing off to anyone who'll listen. My dad got it for me, it's super fast. He rides it to school, zooming around the playground, acting like he's the king of everything. Timmy watches him do tricks, spinning the wheels and popping the front up. Jake loves being the center of attention. Timmy notices that too. He sees how Jake bosses everyone around, telling Mike to carry his backpack, telling Bobby to get him a soda from the vending machine. Do it. Jake snaps, and they jump to obey. He's like a little general with his own army. But Timmy? He's not impressed. He's just watching, quiet as ever, taking it all in. Here's where it gets sneaky. One afternoon, the bell rings, and school's out. Kids are running to the buses or the bike racks, yelling and laughing. Jake's over by his fancy bike, showing off again, spinning it around for a crowd of boys. Timmy's nearby, tying his shoe by the steps. Nobody's paying attention to him, they never do. That's when he does something secret. He pulls out his phone, an old, beat-up one with a cracked screen. He looks around quick, making sure Jake's busy. Then he ducks behind the steps, out of sight, and makes a call. His voice is soft, almost a whisper. Dad, he says, it's getting worse. There's a pause. Then a deep voice comes through the phone, low and strong. Don't worry, son. I'll handle it. Timmy nods, even though nobody can see him. He hangs up fast and slips the phone back in his pocket. Who was on the other end? Oh, you're going to love this, it's a big hint, but I'm not telling yet. Let's think about that for a second. Timmy's got a phone, okay, lots of kids do. But why's he whispering? Why's he hiding? And that voice deep and serious, like someone who doesn't mess around. Who could it be? His dad, sure, but what kind of dad? A teacher? A cop? Someone else? Timmy's not acting scared anymore, he's acting smart. He's got a plan, or maybe someone's got a plan for him. Jake's still over there, laughing and spinning his bike, totally clueless. He doesn't know Timmy's watching him. He doesn't know about the call. He thinks he's untouchable. Big mistake. The next day, Jake's at it again. In the hallway, he knocks Timmy's books out of his arms, wham, and they crash to the floor. Oops. Jake says, pretending it was an accident. His buddies laugh, and kids walking by giggle too. Timmy bends down to pick them up, same as always. But this time, he's not just quiet, he's calm. Too calm. He stacks his books slow and careful, like he's not even mad. Jake doesn't notice, but you do, right? You see that little spark in Timmy's eyes again. It's getting brighter. He's not just taking it anymore, he's waiting for something. Something big. Picture this, the school's buzzing like normal. Kids are everywhere running, talking, slamming lockers. Jake's strutting around like he owns the place, his crew trailing behind. Timmy's just a shadow to them, small, nerdy, easy to ignore. But he's not invisible anymore. Not to us. We know he's up to something. That phone call? It's like a secret key, unlocking a door we can't see yet. Who's his dad? Why'd he say I'll handle it? What's going to happen? Every day Jake pushes Timmy, it's like he's digging a hole for himself, a hole he won't see until it's too late. Let's add one more piece. The next morning, Timmy's walking to school. He's got his big backpack, his glasses slipping like always. But he's not looking down today, he's looking around. He sees Jake by the flagpole, bragging about his bike again. Timmy stops for a second, just watching. Then he smiles. It's tiny, super tiny, but it's there. A little curve on his lips. He turns and keeps walking, like nothing happened. But that smile. It's trouble. Trouble for Jake. Trouble for his crew. Something's coming, and it's getting closer every day. Stick with me, because this story's about to explode. Who do you think Timmy's dad is? Guess in your head, we'll find out soon. Alright, here we go. This is the big moment you've been waiting for. It's Friday at Lincoln Middle School, and the week's been rough for Timmy. Jake and his crew have been meaner than ever, and today's the day it all changes. Picture this, the school day's over, and kids are pouring out the doors, excited for the weekend. The sun's shining, the air's warm, and everyone's buzzing with energy. Timmy's walking out too, his backpack bouncing on his shoulders, his glasses slipping down his nose like always. He's heading for the school gate, just trying to get home. But guess who's waiting for him? Jake. Jake's standing there by the gate, arms crossed, a big smirk on his face. His buddies, Mike and Bobby, are right behind him, snickering like they're in on some joke. They've got Timmy cornered, no way around them. Jake steps forward, blocking Timmy's path. "What's wrong, loser?" he says, his voice all loud and nasty. "No one to save you." He laughs, looking back at his crew like he's the toughest guy around. Timmy stops walking. He doesn't say anything, just stands there, looking small and quiet, his books hugged to his chest. Jake leans in closer. "You're nothing, nerd." "Nothing," he sneers, poking Timmy's shoulder hard. Mike and Bobby laugh again, and a few other kids stop to watch. It looks bad for Timmy. Really bad. Or does it? Then vroom, something happens. A car rolls up to the school gate. Not just any car. This one sleek and black, all shiny like it's brand new. It's big, way fancier than anything you'd see around here. The windows are dark, so you can't see inside. It's totally out of place, like a spaceship landing in the playground. Everyone turns to look. Jake, his crew, the other kids, even Timmy. The car stops right there, engine humming low. For a second, it's quiet. Nobody knows what's going on. Then click, the door swings open. Out steps a man. And oh boy, he's not like anyone you've seen at school before. This guy's tall and strong, dressed in a sharp suit, black and crisp, like he's going somewhere important. His face is hard, like it's made of stone, no smile, no softness. Tattoos peek out from under his sleeves, curling up his arms like snakes. His hair's slicked back, and his eyes. They're sharp, locked right on Jake like a hawk spotting a little mouse. The air feels heavy all of a sudden, like something huge is about to happen. He takes one step forward, his shiny shoes clicking on the pavement. Then he speaks, his voice low and calm but strong, like thunder waiting to boom. "Timmy," he says, looking at his son. "This the kid?" Timmy nods. Just one little nod, slow and sure. He doesn't need to say anything, his eyes say it all. Jake's smirk? Gone. Wiped clean off his face. He blinks, stepping back a little. Who are you?" he stammers, his voice shaking now. The big man steps closer, towering over Jake. He doesn't yell or rush, just moves slow, like he's in control of everything. "I'm Tony Parker," he says, his voice cutting through the air. "Timmy's dad. And you, little punk, just messed with the wrong family." Jake's eyes go wide. His mouth drops open. Mike and Bobby freeze, looking at each other like they want to run but can't move. Here's the big surprise, ready for it? Tony Parker isn't just any dad. He's not a teacher or a doctor or a guy who works at the store. No way. Tony Parker is the boss of the city's biggest mafia. Yep, you heard that right, the Mafia. The toughest, scariest group around. He's the guy in charge, the one everyone listens to. Those tattoos? They're not just cool drawings, they're signs he's a big deal. That car? It's his, and it's fancy because he's powerful. Bet you didn't see that coming, huh? Nobody did, especially not Jake. Let's paint the scene. The black car's parked there, engine still humming. Tony's standing tall, staring down Jake like he's a bug he could squash. Timmy's next to him, quiet as ever, but now he doesn't look so small. The other kids by the gate? Their jaws are on the ground. Some gasp, some whisper, some just stare. Jake's face is white like all the color ran away. He tries to talk, but all that comes out is a little squeak. I didn't mean, he starts, but Tony cuts him off with one look. That look says, you're in trouble now. Mike and Bobby take a step back, their laughs gone. They're not so tough anymore. Think about it. All this time, Jake's been picking on Timmy, shoving him, dumping his lunch, calling him names. He thought Timmy was weak, alone, an easy target. But now he sees the truth. Timmy's got someone backing him up, someone way bigger than Jake could ever dream of being. Tony doesn't even need to shout or fight. He just stands there, and that's enough. His calm voice, his hard eyes, his fancy suit, they all say one thing: you messed up, kid. Jake's not smirking anymore. He's scared. Really scared. And he should be. Let's zoom in. Tony takes another step closer. Jake's shaking now, his fancy bike forgotten by the gate. You like picking on my boy? Tony asks, his voice still low but super serious. Jake shakes his head fast, like a dog shaking off water. And no, sir, he says, tripping over his words. Tony tilts his head, looking at him like he's deciding something. Good, he says. Because if you do it again, you'll wish you hadn't. That's it, just a few words, but they hit hard. Jake nods so fast his head might fall off. The crowd's quiet now, watching every move. Timmy. He just stands there, pushing his glasses up, looking at his dad. He doesn't need to say anything. His dad's got this. Here's the wild part: Tony's not just tough, he's the Mafia boss. That means he runs things. Big things. People listen when he talks, and they don't mess with him. Ever. Jake didn't know that. Nobody at school did. All those weeks of bullying, all those mean tricks, they were poking a bear they didn't even see. And now, the bear's awake. Tony's here, and Jake's little world just flipped upside down. Bet you're grinning right now, huh? It's like the best surprise ever. So there they are, Timmy and his dad, side by side. The black car waits behind them, shiny and strong. Jake's stuck, his crew too scared to help. The other kids whisper, "Whoa, that's Timmy's dad." Nobody's laughing at Timmy now. This is the moment everything changes. The big reveal's out, and Jake's in deep trouble. What happens next? Oh, it's going to be awesome. Stick around to find out. Okay, let's wrap up this awesome moment. It's still Friday by the school gate, and things just got crazy. Jake's standing there, his face turning white like he's seen a ghost. Tony, Timmy's dad, the big Mafia boss, is staring him down. Tony doesn't even need to yell, he's scary just standing there in his sharp suit, tattoos peeking out. Then snap, he clicks his fingers. The black car doors open again, and out come two huge guys. They're giant, like wrestlers or superheroes, dressed in suits just like Tony's. They step forward, cracking their knuckles, pop, pop, pop. It's loud, and it makes Jake jump. These guys look ready to squash anything or anyone that gets in their way. Tony's voice is low and strong. Here's the deal, he says, locking eyes with Jake. You leave my boy alone, or you'll wish you'd never been born. Got it? Jake's head bobs up and down so fast it's like a toy on a spring. He's not smirking now, no way. He's scared, really scared, and you can see it all over his face. His buddies, Mike and Bobby, aren't laughing either. They're wide-eyed, stepping back, trying to disappear. Tony doesn't move, just keeps staring. That's all it takes. Jake gets the message loud and clear: mess with Timmy, and you mess with Tony. And nobody wants that. The crowd of kids by the gate? They're watching everything, jaws dropped like they're in a movie. Some whisper, some point, but nobody dares make a sound. Jake and his crew don't wait around. They turn and slink away, heads down, feet shuffling, like scared little puppies running from a big dog. They're gone fast, disappearing around the corner. Tony watches them go, then looks at Timmy. You okay, son? He asks. Timmy nods and fixes his glasses, pushing them up his nose. Then guess what, he smiles. Just a little one, super tiny, but it's there. For the first time, he looks happy. Fast forward to Monday. School's back, and everything's different. The hallways are buzzing, but not like before. Kids aren't laughing at Timmy anymore. Nope. They're whispering quiet little voices spreading the news. That's the Mafia kid, they say, peeking at him as he walks by. His dad's the boss. Nobody dares mess with him now. Not Jake, not Mike, not Bobby, no one. Jake's crew stays far away, heads down, acting like they don't even see Timmy. The bullying? Over. Done. Timmy walks to class with his backpack, his messy hair bouncing, and nobody touches his books or calls him names. Suddenly, Timmy's not just the nerd anymore. He's the toughest guy in school, and he didn't even throw a punch. He didn't need to. His dad took care of it, and that was enough. Kids who used to ignore him now stare with big eyes. Some even smile at him, like they want to be friends. Timmy keeps being Timmy, quiet, calm, but now everyone knows, he's got power behind him. Justice is served, and it feels so good. Okay, that's how it all happened. Timmy's story is done, and wow, what a ride, right? He didn't need to fight or yell or get mad. Nope. He had something way bigger backing him up: his dad, Tony, the Mafia boss. Jake and his crew thought Timmy was weak, but they were so wrong. Funny, isn't it? The kid everyone laughed at, the one they called nerd and loser, turned out to be the one they'd never forget. He went from being the quiet guy with messy hair to the toughest kid in school, all without lifting a finger. Pretty cool, huh? So here's something to think about. Next time you see someone quiet or different, like the kid who sits alone or doesn't talk much, maybe, just maybe, they've got a secret worth knowing. They might look small or shy, but you never know what's hiding inside. Timmy seemed like an easy target, but he had a big surprise up his sleeve. Life's like that sometimes. People who don't show off or act loud can still be strong in their own way. Ever think about that? Maybe there's someone you've seen who's more than they seem. What do you think? Have you ever underestimated someone, like thought they weren't tough or cool, and then they surprised you later? Maybe a friend, a classmate, or even yourself. I bet you've got a story. Drop your thoughts below, I'd love to hear them. Timmy's tale shows us something big: don't judge people too fast. The quiet ones, the different ones, they might just turn everything around when you least expect it. That's it for this story, but I've got more coming. Timmy didn't need to be loud to win, he just needed to be himself, with a little help from his dad. So next time you're out there, look around. Who's got a secret? Who's stronger than they look? Keep your eyes open, because you never know. I'll see you in the next story. Stay awesome, and let me know what you think below.